So this is the second little part for cross sections, all right? When we talk about cross sections, we also throw in what happens when we rotate a figure, all right? Rotate a 2D shape to get a 3D one. So with cross sections, we talked about what happens when we take a 3D shape, cut it to get a 2D shape. Now, we want to know what will happen when we have a 2D figure, so like a triangle, square, rectangle, and we rotate it to get a cone, cylinder, and something like that, all right? So think about a revolving door. A revolving door is typically a rectangle, all right? We take that door and then you rotate it 360, a bunch of actually degrees, and you eventually make this shape, which we call a cylinder. Okay, so we start with a rectangle, rotate it 360 degrees to end with a cylinder. All right, so again, you have a little GeoGebra activity. Click here on the link that's uploaded in the completed notes or in the note packet, doesn't really matter, and play around with the little levers, with the scales or whatever, change them and see what happens. That way you can get a visual, because especially with this unit, again, 3D shapes, you're going to want to visualize things. All right, so once you're done with that, come back to me and let's fill in what shapes happen when we rotate them. Here we have a triangle, and so when we rotate it 360 degrees, it ends up looking something like that. All right, so I'm going to redraw that right here. We have our base that we're rotating around, we have our triangle, and we end up with like a little party hat almost type thing. We call this guy a cone. All right, so when you rotate a triangle 360 degrees, you get a cone. Rotating rectangle, that's like the revolving door up above. So once you finish rotating your rectangle 360 degrees, you end up with this figure. Think about a can, we call it a cylinder. We rotate the circle 360 degrees, so we have this circle right here, and then we rotate it around its axis that way. And so you end up with a figure that we call, think about a basketball. Kind of looks the same, but this is called a sphere. All right, think about a basketball, think about the earth, anything round, any 3D round object. All right, the last one is a little different. It This trapezoid, so we have small top, big bottom, but the sides are the same length, so that's a trapezoid. When we rotate it around that axis, you end up with something that looks like this. A small base connected to a bigger base, and it's a cone with the little tip cut off. All right, so that is called a truncated cone. That just means the tip of the cone is cut off. All right, so there you go. You have your rotating figures. Just like with cross sections, you will need to know these. You will need to be able to rotate them and come up with these shapes. All right, check the daily agenda to see if you have an assignment, and have a good day. Be good.